What is going on, everybody? Project Rodrod here, and it is time to start our fourth event of the Stadium Series here in Indy. Don't forget to check out my Patreon, though, for early access and exclusive content. Link on screen and in the description below. This was the leaderboards leaving Glendale last stop, where Monster Dalmatian came out on top with a 22-point lead over Northern Nightmare, who's in second. Bakugan moving down to third, who was absolutely dominating up until that point. So a lot of changes have been going on in the leaderboards going into the fourth stop. So 2 more stops to go, 2 shows to go. Let's see what's going to happen. 8 more opportunities to get points and get on top. We're going to have to wait and see if Monster Dalmatian and April Summers can hold that spot. But before all that, we're going to have to see Mohawk Warrior's first attempt in qualifying, seeing what he can get on the board here. The last time in Glendale, Mohawk Warrior and the Camera 9785 were 10th in qualifying, so hoping to turn things around here and get a better time. Currently in last place, unfortunately, 19.92 for Mohawk Warrior. Currently in last place in the point standings, very unfortunate. But I mean, hey, these 8 more opportunities, that's plenty of points to get on top. So who knows? As long as he stays motivated and such and doesn't lose hope, he can turn things around. But as he's in his second attempt back in Glendale, he made it to the second round. No, actually, he made it to the semifinals. Looking at the bracket again, he made it to the semifinals and lost to Blue Thunder, who ultimately won racing. 19.37 for Mohawk Warrior, a really good time for his second attempt. So that should hopefully hold for a while. We're gonna have to wait and see, though. 11 more trucks left today's event for qualifying. So Nick Morhees and Avenger coming out now. Not having the season he envisioned, I'm sure. Last season he did pretty well. You know, nothing too crazy, but figuring, given his experience from season 1 and knowing his way around this competition, you know, I had hopes that he, you know, would have been a little higher in the standings. I'm sure he would have thought the same, but just something about this season just hasn't been sitting right. But a 19.48 for his first attempt last time around in Glendale, was 7th in qualifying, so just about the halfway point, not too bad. And that looked pretty close to crossing that, I don't know what to call that border there. I don't know what to call that, but the judges will be calling disqualifications for that. And there it is. He definitely crossed it that time, so that will be a disqualification for Avenger on his second attempt. So we're going to go with his first one of a 19.48. Monster Butt now, Blake Bell, who was the previous driver of Mohawk Warrior. I mentioned this at every stop. Previously driving Mohawk Warrior last season, decided to jump into the Team Monster Butt truck after... what's his name, jumped into Gas Monkey Garage. Ryan Hayward jumped into Gas Monkey for the Arena Series, but currently in 10th place, hoping to turn things around as we get his first attempt done. A 19.51, so just shy of Avenger, so he's currently sitting in 3rd place in terms of qualifying. Was 8th in qualifying in Glendale, and was unfortunately knocked out in the first round against El Toro Loco. It was a close race. 0.4 seconds, which, what's that, 4/10 of a second? I guess. I think that's the right terminology for that. But going back to Avenger too, before I forget, Avenger was disqualified against Mohawk Warrior. If I'm not mistaken, Avenger would have won that race, but because he went over the boundary or the barrier or the line, whatever you want to call it, it caused a disqualification, which set Mohawk Warrior up in the line in the bracket, and which actually ended up putting him in the semifinals with how well he raced after that. So, you know, is what it is. Things happen for a reason. Coming out is Zombie now. Monster Mud didn't quite get the time the second time as good as the first, or better than the first. So he is currently in 3rd place as Zombie comes out. Flames plays the driver. Clipping that jump there. Hopefully it doesn't kill his time too bad. Zombie last time was 3rd fastest in Glendale. So he made it. He got that bye run. Okay, I was worried there. We're not sure how that was going to end up. But he got that bye run into the second round, but unfortunately lost against Blue Thunder, who was ultimately the winner in racing in Glendale. So he can be fast. I mean, he can be a fast driver. He just has to, really get in and hunker down. But 20.16 was his first time, just behind Monster Mutt. So currently in 4th place. Hopefully this second attempt can be better, but he slams the brakes to avoid getting disqualification. That's going to hurt his time. A 20.59 for Flames place and Zombie. I'm sure had he not slammed the brakes there, that would have given him a better time, but he would have risked the disqualification. So, it's kind of a catch-22, I guess, in a way. Darned if you do, darned if you don't, to not use any explicit language, I guess. Max D and Ethan Waters out now. Your reigning World Finals Freestyle champion, looking to relive his that spark he had in the World Finals. But last time in Glendale was 6th in qualifying, and a 19.71 here, not enough to take the lead in terms of fastest qualifier. Was knocked out by Blue Thunder in round 1 back in Glendale. So, I mean, Blue Thunder was just on a rampage in Glendale. If I'm not mistaken, he won racing and skills. No. Racing and high jump. Came close. I think he was 2nd in skills. And I forget where he landed in freestyle, but he did score a good amount of points to put him up on top, or at least higher in the boards. A 19.04 for Max D. So that is the fastest time of the night here in Indy. That should do him well. That's really fast compared to Mohawk Warriors, who had 19.37 coming in. So Blue Thunder coming in, your winner from Glendale, coming off from a win, as I mentioned, looking to get another one. MT World Media was the driver behind Blue Thunder last season and had 2 racing wins on the year, almost made it 3 until Dalmatian knocked him out in the 5th and final event. 19.46 for Blue Thunder for his first attempt. In terms of qualifying in Glendale, I don't think he got the bye run. No, he was 11th, and so almost last place in qualifying, and he came back and won the whole thing. So, it's crazy. It's crazy how these things happen. But Nitro Studios looking to make a comeback, had been kind of at the bottom, or pretty much at the bottom of the leaderboards just about all season, and I'm sure he didn't like that. He really shined in Glendale. 19.72 for his second attempt. He really shined in Glendale and really showed what he's capable of, and he's slowly making his way up on the bracket. So we'll see if this event, if he can follow that hot streak here in Indianapolis. Excuse me. El Toro Loco out now. Ooh, that was actually really close for a disqualification. He was almost over that line, but the officials haven't called it yet, so he should be good. El Toro Loco last time in Glendale lost in the 2nd round, so he was 9th fastest in qualifying, and a nice wheelie after his first attempt. 19.31 as he slams into the container. Doesn't look like it was too hard though. He's gonna go back to the second attempt, to the line for the second attempt. So that that was actually quite worrisome. Driftboy 912 behind the wheel. But that was sure it was a stressful moment, but it seems like he's fine. Truck's running good, so we'll see what happens. But El Toro Loco, let's see where exactly. I mean, he's been having a pretty good season so far. Oh, and I say that I may have jinxed him a little bit going into that turn. A disqualification for Driftboy 912 and El Toro Loco. Very unfortunate. So we're going to go with that first time of a 19.31, which isn't bad. I mean, it puts him in 2nd place right now as Gravedigger and KJ comes out. He was the original winner back in Toronto for racing against Northern Nightmare, who was the reigning World Finals racing champion. So that was quite a shocker for everyone when that happened. But I mean, he came out flying, and he knew what he wanted to do, and looks like that might affect his time too. I don't know if you could tell, but he did hit the brakes just before turning, but it doesn't matter. 19.14, good enough for 2nd place. I feel like had he not hit the brakes when he did and kept going, he might have got a faster time than Max D, but it's good enough for 2nd place at the moment. He did not want to risk that disqualification, which would have really hurt him. But going into his 2nd attempt now, Gravedigger made it to the final race in Glendale, was knocked out by Blue Thunder, so he almost went for his second, or almost got his second win of the season, but was unfortunately knocked out by Blue Thunder. And again, another close call to disqualification, which made him slam his brakes. 19.24, I'm sure would have been a faster time as well, but he wanted to play it safe, which was probably the smart thing to do. So, Cecily 96 and Alien Invasion coming out. Another truck that has been doing pretty good. Was, you know, Arena Series Season 1 winner, and your reigning World Finals Skills champion, and overall World Finals champion, and there is a disqualification right off the board. She's not even going to try to cross the finish line. She's just going to go ahead and get ready for the second one. So, unfortunate for her. But Alien Invasion was second fastest in qualifying in Glendale, and was knocked out by Mohawk Warrior in the second round. So, you know, qualifying does show who has a good feel for the track, but, you know, race day will change everything. So, qualifying matters. It helps with points, but, you know, if you have that one hiccup in race day, it'll ruin your whole, whole event. So, 19.47 for Alien Invasion, just behind Mohawk Warrior and Blue Thunder. Not enough to take the lead, or to be in the top 4. Bakugan Dragonoid Brian the Dog Webb, your current truck in third place, who is, I'm sure he's kicking himself in the rear right now. He was killing it to begin the season. I mean, it seemed like it was his all the way, and then just, you know, something happened. I forget what event it was. I believe it was, Glendale really hurt him, actually, now that I think about it. He didn't do too well in Glendale. But last time in Glendale, he was 12th in qualifying. I believe he got disqualified both times. I'll have to double check that. No, he was just slow overall. I believe in one of them he overturned, and another one he flipped over and saved it, which killed his time. So he just hasn't really been having the outing that he was going for. But yeah, he was knocked out in the first round by Northern Nightmare, after coming off of a racing win in Anaheim the stop before. So he was hot and then just went cold, you know. So it happens. 19.52 for his second attempt. So we're going to go with the first time of a 19.36. Good enough for fifth. 1, 2, 3. No, fourth at the moment. But we have 2 more trucks to go. Northern Nightmare and Monster Dalmatian, who could change all that. Northern Nightmare, your reigning World Finals Racing Champion and Season 1 winner of the Stadium Series, looking to go back-to-back as he's chipping away slowly at Monster Mutt's lead, but Monster Mutt Dalmatian's lead, but Dalmatian and April Summers, man, she's killing it so far. 19.22 for his first attempt, good enough for third place in the leaderboards, or in the qualifying leaderboards. Last time around in Glendale, I'm sorry. Northern Nightmare was 5th, so just barely missed that bye run, but was knocked out in the second round by Gravedigger, who ultimately lost to Blue Thunder in the final round. So he's having a good season so far. I mean, it's almost like a repeat of Season 1, except he just hasn't had that first place spot yet like he did then. But coming up to the end of his second attempt, there it is, looking to see a 19.52 and a hard crash after his second attempt. So hopefully there's nothing wrong with the truck. He can return for the rest of the event. So the last truck left for qualifying is coming out now. April Summers and Monster Mutt Dalmatian, your current first place leader of Season 2. And I'm sure she would love to come out with a win of the season, given that she was the runner-up in Season 1. So, and it was quite a substantial lead that Northern Nightmare had over Monster Mutt Dalmatian, and now it's the complete opposite. So who knows what's going to happen. A nice wheelie after her second attempt. 19.29 for Monster Mutt Dalmatian, good for 4th place. So she has the spot. She's locked in for the bye run. Now let's just see if her second attempt will get her a better time and more points to extend that lead. We're just going to have to wait and see. Last time around, Dalmatian, she had the bye run. She was the fastest qualifier, but lost in the semifinals against Gravedigger. And speaking of fastest qualifier, she was the fastest qualifier in Las Vegas last year in the World Finals. So again, I'm going to keep saying this. She was my favorite to win, and I was just shocked when she lost. And Northern Nightmare ultimately won, but a 19.44 for Dalmatian, so she's not going to be the fastest qualifier. That's going to go to Ethan Waters and Max D. He is your fastest qualifier here in Indy tonight. So there is the leader, or the scoreboard, I guess, the leaderboard for qualifying. As you can see, Max D, Gravedigger, Northern Nightmare, and Monster Mutt Dalmatian all getting the bye run into the second round. This is your racing bracket going into racing later on today. But let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboards after this. Monster Mutt Dalmatian now with 147 points. Northern Nightmare in second with 126. So the lead, or the gap, is getting smaller, but not enough. They're going to have to continue chipping away and hope that Monster Mutt Dalmatian doesn't do well if they want to knock her out. But just a quick reminder, don't forget to use code PROJECTRODROD to get 10% off of your W Energy order. Be sure to check it out, guys. It's really good stuff. Let's go ahead and move on to the high jump competition before we wrap up today's today's event. Mohawk Warrior coming out. Nice big air. That jump right there is going to be a hazard. 36.4 feet for Mohawk Warrior. Now comes Avenger, Nick Morhees. Some nice big air. Missing that jump there. 34.9, but came down a little too violent and is on his lid. No, he ended up back on all fours. So make sure to check the truck out and see if they can continue the rest of the event. Monster Mutt now didn't look too high. 34.5 for Monster Mutt. Last time was last, unfortunately, in high jump. Zombie coming out now. Flames plays. Huge air, getting those arms up in the air for the fans. 34.6, and he's on his side. Max D, your fastest qualifier. Ethan Waters coming out. Let's see if he can get a high jump win too. Didn't look too crazy. 35.5 for Max D, so not too bad. Here comes Blue Thunder. He was the winner back in Glendale with 39 feet and some more big air by Blue Thunder, 36.5. So he currently has the lead going in. Here comes El Toro Loco. Some big air, blowing the smoke at the top, and 36.8. So just like that, Blue Thunder is dethroned from the high jump lead. Here comes Gravedigger, and that didn't really look too high. 31.2 feet, actually really low. Not sure what happened there. Currently in last place. 4 more trucks to go. Here comes Alien Invasion, Cecily 96. 33.6 feet, and she's over on her side. Here comes Bakugan. Huge air. Okay, landing hard on the rear axle. 35 feet for Bakugan. 2 more trucks to go. Here comes Northern Nightmare. Some nice big air. I'm sure we're going to have a new leader now. 39.4 feet, beating Blue Thunder's 39 feet from last time in Glendale. And Monster Mutt Dalmatian being the last one out. Let's see if she can beat that 39.4. Doesn't look like she is, but it all comes down to this. 35.8 for Monster Mutt Dalmatian. So Northern Nightmare and Alex Stevens 27 is your high jump winner here in Indianapolis. So this is the leaderboards for high jump. As you can see, Northern Nightmare on top, El Toro Loco right behind in second place, and Blue Thunder in third. Now let's see what the leaderboards look like. Dalmatian was pretty low, and it looks like, what is that, 17? So a 17-point lead Monster Mutt Dalmatian has now, so the lead is getting smaller. Leaderboards aren't changing too much, but that difference is getting smaller. So 3 more events left in Indianapolis. So let's see how the points are going to change here in the leaderboards. Again, don't forget to check out my Patreon, link on screen and the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in racing.